That's how you throw away a golden chance to tighten your grip on the title, guys. Arsenal dropped points against Everton, and we had the perfect opportunity to widen the gap, especially since we started the game on the front foot. It couldn't have been set up any better, but instead, we ended up shooting ourselves in the foot and walking away with nothing. 3 massive points slipped right through our hands, and thankfully we had a comfortable lead in the title race. So, what exactly went wrong? How did we manage to cause our own problems? And more importantly, should we be concerned about these issues going forward? Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and let's dive straight into the video. As always, let's kick things off with the starting lineup. Kelleher kept his place in goal with Alisson still not ready to return. At the back, we had Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate, and Curtis Jones, who was once again filling in at right back. The midfield trio featured Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, while the front line was made up of Salah, Jota, and the returning Gakpo, who came back into the side after his spell out. That was just a horrible game, especially the first half. And you know what? It wasn't even the scoreline that made it so bad. It was the fact that we created our own problems even after starting the game on a strong note. We actually came out pressing well, using a man-to-man approach that let our centre-backs push up and support the press from behind. That early pressure forced Fulham to go long, and because our defenders were proactive and stepped up, we managed to win the ball back almost every time they tried it. You can see it clearly here. Our front line is pressing aggressively, matching Fulham's build-up structure man for man. McAllister and Gravenberch were also pushing high, joining the press, while Konate and Van Dijk mirrored that intensity from the backline, keeping everything compact and controlled early on. In fact, our first goal came directly from that same pressing approach. Again, we were aggressive, jumping on Fulham players the moment they got the ball. As soon as they went long, we had Van Dijk and Konate in perfect positions to contest the aerial duels. And that's exactly what happened in this sequence. Ibu stepped up, won the header, and the ball dropped to McAllister. That's when the magic kicked in. McAllister picked it up, drove forward with power, shrugged off his marker, and unleashed an absolute rocket from outside the box to give us the lead. A brilliant solo effort that came straight from our high press. But like I said, we didn't hold on to the lead for long. Even worse, not long after the goal, the intensity and aggression from our front line started to fade. That early energy that gave us control just wasn't there anymore. And once that first line of pressure dropped off, it exposed a few of the same issues we've been dealing with all season. Now, whether that drop in intensity was down to the players easing off after scoring, or instructions from Slot to conserve energy, we can't say for sure. But what we do know is this: every time our pressing becomes passive, we let teams pull our midfield apart and break through our block way too easily. Add in some miscommunication and confusion about roles, and you're basically asking to concede. And that's exactly what happened here. So let's walk through the sequence. It all started with Fulham circulating the ball on their left-hand side. Now take a look at the positioning of both Jones and Gravenberch. Gravenberch had drifted wide and dropped deep onto the last line, almost acting like a centre-back. That was because he was tracking Iwobi tightly. But right there, that was the first mistake that led to the goal we conceded. Seeing that Gravenberch had dropped back, Jones decided to step up and press. But when the ball was quickly switched to the other side, he wasn't able to recover in time. That left Gravenberch stranded out wide, still stuck in that makeshift centre-back role, while sticking close to Iwobi. The result? A complete breakdown in shape as McAllister was left isolated in central areas with no cover around him. Fulham took full advantage. They pulled McAllister out of position, opening up a huge pocket of space for Sander Berge to drive forward. Now, yeah, Robertson probably should have done better to block the cross, and Jones could have reacted quicker to deal with the ball. But really, the damage had already been done. A chain of small errors added up, and just like that, Fulham had their equalizer. But hey, if you thought that was the end of the mistakes, then buckle up because it gets worse. The issues we just talked about were more about structure and our defensive shape without the ball. But the next 2 goals, honestly, it felt like we just handed them to Fulham with a bow on top. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, Van Dijk got it wrong too. He misjudged a loose ball, which set up their attacker in a clean one-on-one with Kelleher, no chance for the keeper there. In the second half, Slot made a few adjustments to our pressing structure. He pushed Jones higher up the pitch and had Salah drift inside more centrally. That small shift allowed Konate to step up onto Iwobi, which in turn kept Gravenberch positioned more centrally where he's more comfortable. It definitely helped us tighten things up defensively, but honestly, it felt like it came a bit too late. On the ball, Luis Diaz added a whole new level of energy up front. His directness and movement brought some much needed spark, and eventually he pulled one back for us. Credit also has to go to Connor Bradley, who came on for Curtis Jones. His explosive overlapping runs from deep created overloads down the flank, and it was one of those runs that allowed him to receive the ball in space and set up Diaz for our second goal. Harvey Elliott and Federico Chiesa also had a few bright moments. Both had chances to get on the score sheet and looked lively when they came on, but again, it all just felt a little too late. The impact was there, but not enough time to turn things around completely. So, should we be concerned about these issues going forward? Honestly, yeah, we should be. It's not just about one bad result or one off day. These problems have shown up more than once this season, and that's the worrying part. When the intensity drops, we lose control. Our pressing shape becomes messy, players look unsure about their roles, and the opposition takes full advantage. It's something Slot and his staff really need to sort out, because if we keep seeing these lapses, especially in big games or tight title races, it's going to cost us more points. The talent is there, no doubt. We've got the players. But when the structure breaks down and communication is off, even the best teams can look average. And we've seen it now too many times. It's not panic time, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. If we're serious about winning the league and staying on the highest of levels in the upcoming seasons, we can't afford to keep shooting ourselves in the foot. So yeah, it's a concern, but it's also something that can be fixed with the right focus, better in-game management, and the players staying locked in from the first minute to the last. And that's all for today's video, guys. Another frustrating game where we started strong but ended up hurting ourselves. There's definitely stuff to be encouraged about, like McAllister's goal, Diaz's energy, and some of the subs making an impact, but at the same time, the defensive mistakes and lack of intensity for big parts of the game are hard to ignore. If we want to stay in the title race, we've got to be way more consistent and switched on for the full 90. But we want to hear from you. Do you think these issues are just a small bump, or are they signs of something bigger? Should Slot be doing more to fix these structural problems, or is it down to the players not executing properly? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'll be checking them out as always. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more match breakdowns, and share it with a mate who needs to vent about that performance too. Until next time.